Whatever I did, I never felt good enough. I always compared myself to my older cousins, friends, and people that I thought were better than me. Eventually, this pressure became too big. I came to a point in life where I decided that I didn't deserve to eat, and gradually, I developed anorexia. I've always loved to work out, especially play soccer, but when I got my disorder confirmed, I was forced to stop immediately. Things I had always loved were slowly taken away from me, and there were few things that I was allowed to do. Fortunately, other things caught my focus. For example, when I received a scholarship that took me all the way to Canada over summer break. Since that trip, traveling has been my greatest cure for my disorder. So after graduating high school, I moved to France and spent 6 months working as an au pair. We ate a 3-course dinner every night, and I learned to appreciate food again. After 6 months in France, I went to Senegal. Senegal was very different from all the places I had experienced earlier. Here I learned to appreciate what I had, for the people I met were less fortunate than I was. Seeing these different places took me where I am today. I know what I want to do in life. Instead of focusing on myself, I want to help other people around the globe and work with international relations. I learned about SVF and North Park and decided to apply. Being here in the United States is in a way unreal, considering that I 4 years ago couldn't get down even a salad from McDonald's, and now live in a country where fast food is a part of people's everyday life. You could say that North Park in the United States was a final test for my anorectic disorder. If I can eat the food here, I can probably eat anything.
When I was only 3 weeks old, my father left my mother and moved back to Mexico. My mom was the only one that raised me, and it was a challenge. Along with this, she had undiagnosed bipolar disorder, which made it really unstable to live with her. When I was 3 years old, she accepted Christ, and I did soon after, and we found a church family. They supported us a lot, but regardless, life was sometimes just a struggle. We were financially destitute, and we had a lot of fights. We would argue about anything, since her mood was unstable due to her disorder. Along with this, I had to do a lot of her work, around the time that I was 13 or 14. Before senior year of high school, this, along with all the other issues I was dealing with, erupted. By then, I was a troublesome kid that loved to smoke, drink, and get away with friends in the dumbest ways. I turned my back on God because I was hurt and angry at Him for several reasons. One night, my mom and I had our biggest fight yet, and it ended with me taking all my belongings and leaving the house. I crashed wherever I partied and kept drinking and smoking. It was a rough summer, but also an exciting one at the time. 1 week before senior year was about to start, my life took a change. I was invited to live with a family I knew from my church. In return, I had to attend counseling for alcoholism and depression. After graduating high school, I started living with the family I still live with today, the Camps. Since I came into their life, they've always been there for me, and become a constant that I couldn't do without. Even though I moved in with them, getting to North Park was still a struggle. I was a poor student at community college, and still dirt poor, since I didn't have anyone to financially aid me. I was accepted at North Park, but I didn't have the money for it, so I started working 6 days a week, 12-hour days, to pay for my tuition. After a long time of working hard, I finally had enough money to go to North Park. The Camps decided to financially aid me, matching half of whatever I paid. By now, my goal is to study and become an education history major. I work on campus, and my mother and I have actually rebuilt our relationship. I owe people who helped me growing up so much, but being here at North Park, I feel that I can finally start creating my own future.
I guess my life has a story. Not a story that paints me as someone overcoming adversity, but rather an antagonist in the true story of Jesus saving me from myself. I was blessed to be born into a family centered around unconditional love. We went to church. I went to Bible camp. I wasn't allowed to be anything scary for Halloween. I was the adjective Christian, not the noun. As I grew older, my mother became violently ill, bedridden due to, at the time, undiagnosable stomach complications. In this chapter of my life, we switched roles. I was her caretaker. Due to my sister being away at college and my dad working what felt like 48 hours a day. On top of that, I found it very hard to make friends. I was lonely, depressed, and most of all, numb. This is when God saved me from the cards life dealt. He gave me the ability to teach myself how to shape my chaos into something harmonious. He gave me music. My own antagonism found a way to smear this newfound clarity. After being rejected from North Park University, I developed a hazardous mindset that me in my rawest form would never amount to anything. That bled into my music. I came to believe my talents were non-existent without my ADD medication, Adderall, which led me taking 2 to 3 times my dosage, along with smoking weed quite often, all to increase my creativity. I was abusing the gifts that God had gave me, and again, I was lonely, depressed, and lost. Over the past few weeks, I've had a new transformation in Jesus Christ. It was not some big theatrical ordeal. It was simply that God asked me to do something very difficult, yet so simple. Let go. That meant flushing 37 blue pills and a gram of green leaves down the toilet. That meant to quit equating my empty dreams with the fulfillment of His ever-so-promising plan for me. That's when I was no longer lost in the theory of being Christian, and instead found my identity by following the only leader that knows my name, Jesus.
It doesn't matter where you're from, who you are, or what you do. Whether it's the music, the fight for a better future, or the endeavor for a better self-image that drives you, you can always feel confident in North Park University.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound.